3 special abilities that would let you, yes, you sitting in your chair covered in Cheeto dust, beat any fictional character without ever training. Excluding maybe actual gods, but that's only in very specific circumstances. More times than not, with these 3 skills, you will always win. Let's go. First up is IQ theft. Oftentimes, the most powerful people in fiction are also geniuses, but what if they were nothing more than a vegetable in the hospital, not even capable of feeding themselves? Well, that could be a great reality if you just stole their intelligence. Whether it be an area effect or a contact effect, no matter how smart or powerful they are, if you reduce their intelligence to, well, to nothing, they are less than a vegetable. Most powerful characters in all fiction can be reduced to nothing more than a paperweight on the ground in a few minutes, if not a few seconds. Yet making them dumb, or honestly beyond dumb, is one thing. But the operative word of this ability is theft. You're not just making them dumb, reducing their intelligence, their IQ points, you are taking it for yourself, making it a permanent thing for you, something that is permanent in your brain, permanently intelligent. You are taking their intelligence permanently. You will probably never ever see this ability in fiction because it's just so broken and overpowered that it is impossible to actually write. However, if you had this in real life, or if you had it and were in a fictional world, you would be absolutely unbeatable. You could pose as a reporter and interview Reed Richards and steal his intellect one interview at a time. Or, get this, you could take a bit from every person on the planet until you had the accumulated IQ of Tony Stark, or someone as impossible as Ben 10's Brainstorm. No matter how powerful a person is, all beings require intellect to function. There is no such thing as a zero intellect, at least of a person who is considered alive. A single IQ point makes a massive difference with anyone. Albert Einstein had an IQ of as high as 180, and the lowest possible IQ for a human is generally between 40 and 45. This is literally considered a mental disability. Chimpanzees have an IQ of about 20 to 25, the equivalent of a toddler. With this power, the already dumb opponents, like Luffy or Goku, would probably only have a few seconds before going into a coma. It would also not be very difficult to do this. For these particular characters, just start arguing with them. Tell Goku that his fighting style sucks, and that he only gets by on strength alone. We all know it's not true. It doesn't have to be true. You just need time. Tell Luffy that meat is terrible, and that you'd rather be a vegetarian. It's not hard to stick around these people for long periods of time. Or you could just feed Luffy. That's another thing. You could just feed Luffy and he'll stay around you forever. Or long enough. Do you want to fight Ben 10? Walk by him on the street. Or challenge him to a fight when he's still human. He's probably not going to go Alien X on a human. In fact, he probably won't even use any alien at all on a regular human. He's considered a good guy after all. So you only gotta persist for a few minutes. You want to take on Batman? Just become a guard at Arkham Asylum and steal the intellect of everyone. No matter who you want to beat, you only have to be near them for a few minutes until they are no smarter than an animal. This is legally dubious because there's no laws passed on stealing someone's IQ. But well, on second thought, that might actually just be under the same laws as actual stealing, so maybe it's not legally dubious. But it is morally horrendous. Like, this is a supervillain ability. But yet again, we're trying to kill gods here. It should even work on beings that are not physical, like ghosts or spirits, because they too have intellect that can be taken. Also, I would like to point out that for this video, we're not going to talk about or use abilities like omnipotence, because clearly with omnipotence, yeah, you'd beat generally everyone. But that's boring. Overpowering yourself is boring. I'm talking about specific abilities. Also, I don't want any repeat ability types. So now that we've used a intellect-based ability and a thief-based ability, we can no longer take any similar abilities again. So no repeats. Of course, that all said, it depends on how this particular power takes effect. If you use it properly, you would effectively be unbeatable. But of course, just because you are the smartest man in all creation doesn't mean you can kill anyone. Like, even you wouldn't be able to kill Superman even if he was lying in a hospital bed. Like, there's no weapons on Earth that could pierce his skin effectively. But that's where the second ability comes in. Electrical bond negation. All matter is held together by electrical energy. It's literally a force that binds the galaxy or the universe together. So let's say that this particular ability takes the form of a lightsaber that you can summon to your hand. Instead of cutting, like a normal sword would, this blade, this lightsaber, negates the electrical bond between atoms and molecules. If this lightsaber was to exist, it would literally be the most deadly weapon in all existence. Nothing that has atoms could stand up to it. Not vibranium, not adamantium, not the flesh of the Hulk, or the bioelectric aura of Superman himself. There have been many weapons along similar veins as this in fiction before, Wonder Woman's atom-cutting sword being the most commonly cited. However, this lightsaber is far more dangerous because there is no fear of actually causing a nuclear explosion. No force behind it is required, and it always works. All you have to do is swing it. It's also not restricted to just things with mass, as it negates electrostatic forces, thus electricity, effectively making this weapon a lightsaber that eats electricity, a lightsaber that eats other lightsabers. So with that, we've now taken a durability bypassing ability, meaning no advanced armament hockey or atom-splitting weapons. That said, while you now have a high chance of winning any fight, you are still just human. And certainly not a human trained to the degree of, well, anyone that you actually are attempting to fight. No human in all existence or history is as trained as Goku or as trained as Superman. So you're not even close to the level. So we need to survive. And that's where the last ability comes in clutch. Memory regeneration. What's that? You don't know? I'm not surprised because as far as I'm aware, I actually made it up. This is a type of regeneration that is based on anyone else's memory of you. No matter who it is, if a memory can be recalled by someone, you will regenerate back to your prime the moment you die. Think of it like that show Forever, where whenever Reed Richards died, he would come back seconds later in the nearest large body of water. However, this works based on memory. If anyone can remember you, not if they do remember you, but if they can remember you, then you resurrect. This also means that technically you will never be able to die, even if you want to, which also guards you from being mind controlled and having that power deactivated on yourself. Oh, Goku turned you into a smear across half the universe? Does your WoW guild remember you? If so, welcome back. Did Scarlet Witch yeet you from all versions of all multiverses? Does the IRS know you? Welcome back. Are you fighting a literal god? Are they trying to kill you by wiping you from all time and space across all multiverses and dimensions? How will you survive? You will survive. Why? Because the god themselves that wiped you from existence still remembers you. He has a memory of you. The only way to actually kill you is to wipe all creation across all time and space, all dimensions, and all multiverses, as well as a person's own memories of you. And at that point, haven't you won? Like, seriously, at that point, haven't you won? Because that's probably the furthest any mortal being, well, relatively mortal being, could push someone like this. And that's assuming you're not stealing their IQ as you fight them. Imagine stealing a god's IQ. Also, if they do wipe their mind, then somehow gain their memory back, you also come back. This is not a Bill Cipher situation. This is like the opposite of a Bill Cipher situation. Now you might say that this is technically another intellect power, but I disagree. This is far more similar to a Horcrux from Harry Potter or the Shattered God from DC. While it resides in the same place as memory, your brain, it's not the same. You would not call skin and clothes the same because they cover you. I guess you could call it a soul-based power if you really wanted to. So this ability could copy and paste your soul onto memories of you across anyone who does remember you. Thus, anyone who remembers you can act as a sort of permanent respawn point, copying and pasting your soul as many times as you need, kind of like a new you from Borderlands. You could assume it's something like that, but that's getting a bit more complicated than I actually intended on. Either way, it's incredibly broken. But, of course, none of these powers actually guarantee a victory, especially if you let the cat out of the bag, and you can be beaten, just not killed permanently. Now, I am sure I did miss some things and didn't account for some things, but this will bring you specifically victory over so many different fictional characters. And assuming that you can't lose these abilities, you should be good for a long, long time. Actually, forever. Certainly you will be at a disadvantage at range, but just don't confront them. Be smart. I did not promise that you will be able to match their abilities, only that if you were smart, you could take anyone out without actually training. Also, I just hope that you are okay being alone in the dark void of space for all eternity after the heat death of the universe kills everything, because as you're floating through space, you'll freeze and suffocate every 3 minutes or so, only to come back in a different location and repeat the cycle for all of eternity. Good luck! Thanks for watching. See you next time. Remember to stay spectacular. JoJo out. Bye-bye.